Hi guys, it's Baba Mori and I'm here with the first Q&A video. The first question that I got was about ancestor work. Now, when you start working with your family tree, you want to get onto things like Family Search, Ancestry. There's a lot of different companies that have just search engines, especially if it's related to the church in any kind of way. There's several that have church records that they have access to. So if you know that your family was Catholic for several generations, you could probably find those records a lot easier than if they were non-denominational. As far as like websites that I use for doing this, let's see, we have CRI Genetics, and that one does DNA tests. The other one that I use for DNA tests is Genome Link. Once you have the raw data, you can also take it and put it into GEDmatch, GED match, and I'll put all the links in the under the video. Yeah. Let me see what else we got. FamilySearch.org. GenomeLink.io. Already said that. And then, of course, when you find things, you want to verify the information, right? So you want to be able to check your tree on other sites that offer a tree, right? Some of them are going to have access to different information. So you want to make sure that you're getting all of the information and rounding it out. Some people had a given name and then they got a different name when they got baptized, or a different name when they got married, or when they got converted, or when they got assimilated or colonized, or whatever, right? There's so many different ways that information got lost. Not to mention that unless your families were royal at some point, you don't really have information past a certain point because they weren't keeping those records that way. Unless you have like a family Bible from back then, you're not really going to know who your people were in the Middle Ages if they were peasants, if they weren't like part of the groups of people that kept documentation. We also have issues where, I think it was like in the 1500s, something like that, they decided that we needed to have last names that were standardized, kind of. They decided that in order to be baptized, you had to have a name that came from the Bible. So then we have Marys and Johns for decades that all have the same name, or all have the same like first and middle names, or what. It's just so freaking confusing to try to find your family when there are so many different ways that information is misrepresented or just gone sometimes. But one of the things that I am working on is a meditation to connect you with your ancestors that I should be able to drop either this week or next. But I definitely am working on that. I'm also working on setting up like a collection just for ancestor work, so that anybody who wants to go in there can get all the links, can look through all the videos that I'll have on it. So I'm working my way into building libraries of information. I think that's, yeah, I think that's my answer. I hope that helped. And if you have any other questions, let me know. Keep the conversation going.